got a big one in front of you this coming Saturday, but you've also had a chance to look back at this past Saturday, review the film. Anything that you see now that maybe you didn't see right afterwards?
Yeah, there's a lot actually. When you watch a tape, it's really hard during the game to see everything, right? And so, um, yeah, I mean, you grade the tape and evaluate, and that's what we kind of talked to the team about. Is that's what the tape's for? Is self-evaluation. How could we be better? And put in the same situation, what would we do differently? So on and so forth. But that's what the tape's for, is to evaluate.
Are there one or two things that really stood out that you say, hey, this can be a learning experience for our team or something to grow from?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean that was a very tough loss, hard-fought game, and when you have as much invested and the commitments made like our players have, those things are heartbreakers, right? And so there's a lot of little details to clean up in all phases of the game, and so you have to learn from those, and that's you have to stay open-minded in the meetings and make sure that we learn from those situations.
And could you feel the red wave in that game, 41,000 plus?
Oh yeah, it was. Since I've been back here, whenever I came back, 2017, I think that's the best environment I've seen here. I really want to thank the fans for coming out and creating that energy and being involved in the game. I'm just disappointed we couldn't, it couldn't have turned out differently for them, because if I stayed till the end, it was a nail biter. It was a great football game. I just wish it would have went the other way for them.
And now you go on the road to take on the number 7 team in the country in USC. You were one of the only Pac-12 coaches to beat the Trojans during their dynastic run with Pete Carroll. What's it like, especially as a SoCal guy, going back there and playing in the Coliseum, leading your team into the Coliseum?
Well, it's a great environment to play in, and it's a tough place to play. If the Coliseum is really rocking, it can be very loud there. I've been there a few times when it's been like that, back in those days when Coach Carroll was there, and so it'll be a great environment for our kids to go into against a great football team. There's really no chinks in their armor. They have talent all over the field, and so it's going to be a great test. And so we have to have a great week of practice and preparation.
Coach, can you touch upon some of their skill position guys a little bit? I mean, Caleb Williams might be the number 1 pick in the draft. Jordan Addison, the Letnikov winner. I mean, how good are they at these skill positions?
Yeah, they're excellent. When you watch them on tape, Jordan Addison, he is so smooth and effortless catching the football. A lot of speed. There's speed all over the field with him, and so it's not just him either. They have weapons all over, and the quarterback's really good at getting them the football. He's very poised. He can beat you with his legs as well when he pulls it down. Dye, their running back, is an excellent running back who played at Oregon, and have seen him before, but he's an excellent player. They just have a lot of depth, a lot of athleticism on both sides of the ball, really. Same thing on defense.
What have you seen specifically from just how big and physical this team is from their 2 wins this season against Rice and Stanford?
Yeah, they are, and athletic. It's not only are they big and physical, but they're very athletic, and so they're deserving of their ranking. They're a very good football team, very well coached, very explosive. They can make a lot of things happen. They can turn the ball over, force turnovers, I should say. Excellent tacklers, so their ranking is well deserved.
So when you say that, you truly do feel like USC is the 7th best team in the country, top 10 team in the country?
Well, so far, from what I've seen, I haven't seen a lot of other teams really, but what I see on the field from them is I just look at their athleticism and their size and their speed and the things that they do, and I don't know that how many other teams are. They're right up there. I don't know if it's 7. I don't know if it's 5. I don't know if it's 9. I don't know what it is, but they're good.
Do you know Lincoln Riley? Have you crossed paths with him in coaching circles?
I have not. We've obviously watched him on tape because all coaches watch other teams that do things well, and so we've watched them on tape before. and I've always had a great deal of respect for what they've done.
When you say you followed his career, have you studied the success that he had at Oklahoma and how the transfer portal has brought those guys over here? Like, what coaching style does he have, I guess, and what has impressed you with him?
Yeah, I think when you look at the offensive side of the ball, they're very explosive. They were at Oklahoma. I saw something on TV the other day of all the transfers that came. I don't know exactly how many, but it looked like they came from far and wide to join them there. And so, you really, they're the best of the best. They came to play there for that reason. And so they've always just been really explosive and done a great job on offense. And so there's a bunch of teams in the country that you go through and you watch in the off season and pick up ideas here and there. I think everybody does that.
Paul asked you about the Red Wave support here in Fresno. You know you're going to get it at the Coliseum as well. It was there in 2019 when you were the coach going down there. What does that mean to you that the Red Wave will travel for these big games, and what are you expecting from the Red Wave on Saturday?
Yeah, I think the Southern California games are always pretty special because our fans do travel so well. They did that year when we played SC, when we played UCLA, same thing. I think it's something that the fans look forward to, and excited for them to come down and support us.
Is this team right now playing with a chip on its shoulder, having given away a game to Oregon State that you guys could have won? Do they feel like this is another test to get back at it and prove themselves against the Pac-12 opponent?
Yeah, of course. It's the disappointment is definitely there. But we have a 24-hour rule. We have to grieve it for 24 hours and then let it go, not accept it. Make a commitment to do what we can to get better. And, we'll see tomorrow. That was yesterday. And, I'm sure when they come back tomorrow, they'll be ready to practice again and have another opportunity.
How is Abe doing right now? Where's his confidence level? What's his mindset?
Haven't met with Abe, but we will make sure that we create an environment where he can bounce back. And, unfortunately, I don't know what he made, 3 or 4, he made maybe 4 field goals the other night. And, then the 52-yarder, he hit well, just a little bit right, but he had the distance on it. And, so we see him kick every single day in practice, and he does a great job. And so we have a lot of confidence in him. We just need to get that back for him.
And then what happened with Jalen Moreno-Cropper when he came off the field? He was off for about a quarter or so. I know he came back, but what was his injury?
He was cramping. He was dehydrated and got an IV.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
When you talk to players, and coaches as well, they'll say, I try to treat every game the same, but there's certainly something different about this game for the players. When you're out there coaching, do you feel that difference?
No, I hope not. I hope that we go into every game the same. If we weren't approaching our business that way, I believe we'd be going at it the wrong way. You can't be on a roller coaster depending on who you're playing every single week, right? You need to prepare the same way, not take anybody lightly, and always do your best. And and that's the mindset we have to have going into every single game, right? So I hope it's no different this week than it was last week, than it was the week before, or the week after next, or whatever it is. I hope it's all the same. That's the way we approach it.
Coach, you got no takeaways through 2 games. This USC team's creating a lot of them. How much of a concern is that?
Yeah, that's a big key, right? It was the same with Oregon State. They had a lot of takeaways coming into the game. Thankfully, we didn't turn it over, but we do need to force some on defense. That switches field position, switches momentum. We have made that an emphasis. It always has been, but for some reason we're not. We had one get out the other night. We were getting on it, and then it slipped out of our hands, and they got it back. But yeah, it's critical that both things, that we create turnovers and that we secure the football.
I've got to imagine you feel your team's better equipped than when you were preparing in 2017 for top 10 teams, Alabama and Washington like this program has grown and where you're maybe better in a matchup against a top 10 team this time around?
Yeah, I think that year in 2017, coming off a one-win season, I think, right? And so I think it was so new at that point that really didn't know how to approach it or attack it. I don't know if the mindset was necessarily there at that point, even though once we got there, the guys played really hard in those games. But we've been in a few of those since then, and so I think the culture is a little bit different now. So again, it's just how we prepare and how we approach, going into the game. And, so again, we have to have a great week this week because they're an excellent football team.
Yeah, a lot's made of their skill position players. Just what are you seeing in the trenches and the athletes the Trojans have there?
It's the same. Like I said, there's no chinks in their armor. They're very physical, very athletic, very well coached. Have different schemes, a lot of movement. So you can really only do that and be effective if you're athletic like they are. And but they're a very good football team. You watch the tape and there's really, you don't look and say, oh, here's a weakness, there's a weakness, whatever. They're solid all the way around.
Coach Jackson mentioned that you guys have not turned the ball over yet this season. What do you attribute that to, and what will it take to not turn the ball over against USC, who had a couple big turnovers against Stanford last week?
Yeah, we work on it very hard. I hope you're not jinxing us by asking that question.
Not either.
We work on it hard, at ball security, and I think Jake's been really smart with the ball. He hasn't really forced balls. The other night he had a couple that he threw away, that maybe he would have tried to force before. But he's been really smart with it, and the ball carrier's been wrapping it up. But these guys are excellent tacklers. They come after it. They're very physical. They run through you with speed and great technique, and so it's going to be critical for us to hang on to it this week.
Any more questions for Coach? All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely a crushing loss there on Saturday, and it was something that I think we can learn from, something we can grow from. But yeah, our direction is looking at SC now, and we got to pay all our attention on it, and I'm going to do everything I can to prepare at a really high level and do everything I can to be ready for them.
What's the most important thing you think you guys can learn or take from that experience against Oregon State?
Oh, boy. I just think we got to do a better job of finishing games. I think at times, there was opportunities to finish that game, and I think we just kind of let it slide. And I know that, we had that really good clutch drive at the end, but I think there was opportunities to even not put ourselves in that situation. I think I could have done a better job in some situations and just gave the team a better chance there at the end to not have to go through that last 2 minutes. And, I'm going to be better for it, and the team's going to be better for it as well.
And could you feel a difference inside the stadium with 41,000 plus there?
Yeah, man, it was pretty electric. I know they want to see us win, and I know they are always looking at the win column and saying, hey, if we're going to pack this place, you guys better win. But that was a really important vibe that we had in that game, and I really appreciated all of them coming out and supporting us. And, if they can continue to do that, it'd be really awesome for the Dogs, and I don't think they are going to regret it. I think we're going to continue to put on a show and continue to grow as a team and continue to get better.
And I know, you and Coach both talked about going into every game believing you can win.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you believe you can win on Saturday at the Coliseum?
No one else thinks we can win. I've been the underdog my whole life, man, and it's going to be no different this Saturday. Going to embrace it, going to love it. And there's probably some things I can't say right now that I'm feeling about this Saturday. But, USC was the team that I grew up rooting for, and they never gave me a chance to go play there, and now I get to go play there and play on a big stage. So there's really nothing to be nervous about. No one expects us to win. The only people that expect us to win are the people in that locker room, the people in this facility. So I'm just going to go prepare like I always do and play with a chip on my shoulder, make great decisions, and stay in the moment and stay present. if I can stay patient and take what they give me early, and then just stay in the flow of the game, the shots will present themselves. And I just think you got to play really hard, gritty football for 4 quarters. And no matter what the score says, I just think that I'm going to go out there, put my best foot forward. And if the team feels that and know that I'm going to go out there with no fear and no regrets, that's all I can ask, and that's all I can ask my teammates.
Jake, as somebody who grew up rooting for USC, what are your memories of watching USC? What do you remember about those games on TV or games that you attended in person?
I mean, I remember watching Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart and all those guys, win a national championship and playing at a high level and winning a ton of games with Pete Carroll. Those were some of the times that I remember playing, and then I remember through the recruiting process, I really wanted to get a USC offer, and little Jake Hanner was too small to play there and didn't have enough stars on his name, so I never got that opportunity. But now I get to go in there and play and do everything I can to help our team get a win on Saturday. I think we're going to go in there with that mindset and play as the underdogs and do everything we can to give the Trojans a fight.
As somebody who is the captain of this team, even though it's a different unit, I guess, do you take it personally if people are taking shots at somebody? Do you pull Abe aside and say, hey, listen, we got your back, even with those missed kicks? Like, did you have a conversation with him, or did you talk to other people that have a conversation with him? Like, how do you approach that as a captain?
I mean, I've been in situations like that. I know how Abe feels, and I just went up to him yesterday and just gave him a pat on the back and let him realize you can go one or two ways. You can put your head in the ground and you can regress and get worse, because everyone has a choice, or you can say, hey, you know what? This is what happened to me on Saturday. You can look adversity in the face and you can go right at it. It's really the only two options you have. And after the Cal game as a freshman, when I threw that game-losing interception, that pick six, I was down on myself and obviously didn't want to be in that situation. But the great ones respond. The people that are successful in life and business and anything, they respond, and you just got to go right at adversity. It's not going to help you by dwelling on the past. The only thing that can help you is moving forward and being great in the next play.
I do have one more question about the past before moving forward. In 2019, when Fresno State played USC, you were on the team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. Did you travel to that game? Were you on the sideline?
I couldn't travel to any games that year. I actually wasn't on the team yet. I was just in the transition to transferring, and I got here when we started prep for Minnesota. So I was kind of just watching that game. I think I might have told Coach that I was coming to Fresno State at that time, but I don't think the announcement had been made yet. So I was at Shaver, actually. I remember watching. I was up in Shaver watching the game and rooting for the Dogs. It was a close one, but I think it's a little different USC squad this time around.
You were in Shaver?
I was in Shaver watching the game.
Gotcha. So speaking of it being a different team this time around, as I know you don't play against the other team's quarterback, but can you appreciate a guy like Caleb Williams and what he did at Oklahoma and all the talk and the hype with him and how he's reacting to everything? Like, what do you see from his game that you think, I'm proud to be a quarterback on the same field with you on Saturday night?
You want me to answer that honestly?
Sure.
I can't answer that honestly. No, he's a good player. I don't care who I'm playing. I really don't. I mean, he's a good player and he does a lot of really good things, but I'm not going to sit there and just admire the guy that I'm playing. I mean, let's go, dude. I mean, it's big dog, big time atmosphere. I know he's going to play his best and I'm going to play my best. And I'm ready for the challenge. The kid's going to put up a lot of points and he makes a lot of really good decisions and a lot of really good throws. And our defense is going to have to be dialed in, but let's go. I mean, that's all you can say, right? I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they're going to put up this many points. Like, we're going to have to score a lot of points, but let's compete. That's what brings the best out of all of us.
This is a game that, when the schedule came out, everyone was looking about it. We've all been talking to you about this game going back to like March or February. Is it nice that you can actually focus on this game now instead of having to say, well, we're not talking about USC. Now it's USC game week. So what's it like for you to have to, your family and friends, you kept putting them off talking about it, now you can actually talk about USC?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, the big games are great and everything, but it's just another week of preparation. I'm going to continue to go and do my routine and do my process and try to give Fresno State the best chance to be successful on Saturday night. And that's, I think, all you can ask out of me and the rest of my teammates. I think they're going to do everything they can this week to prepare at a high level. And, we know we got a really good team coming up and, a lot of hype around it. But, this is what we play for. And this is what we do all those extra hours and the long summers and the long winters. It's time now. This is what you play for. This is why you play college football, for moments like this. And these are the moments I dreamed of as a kid. And I'm one of the few that actually get to go out and live that dream and go and play in the Coliseum and play against a top 10 USC team like they were in the past. And, you just can't really beat that, man. It's what you play for.
So I just wanted to get your opinion on this, even though you may not have paid too close attention yet because conference play hasn't started. But a lot of Mountain West schools have lost games that they probably shouldn't have in the first couple of weeks. Do you have an opinion on the state of the Mountain West right now and why some of these schools are struggling?
I wouldn't say I have an opinion. I think I'm, totally focused on SC right now, and when conference play comes, I'll be totally focused on conference play. But, right now I just think we got to continue to prepare at a high level and just keep doing what we're doing. I think the guys are in really good spirits, and I don't think that they're dwelling on that last loss too much. And, I think Monday is the day to get our recovery and get everything, started for SC, start watching tape on their first couple games and just prepare for them.
You're pretty gassed up.
I am gassed up. No one thinks we can win this game, so why even play this game if no one thinks we can win? Let's go, dude. It's number 7 team in the country. Let's go play some football. This is why you do this. I am gassed up. This is a big week for this program.
And something I thought of, looking into this game and the other games that have happened, there's always trash talk, but historically, SC fans particularly are pretty derogatory at times to Fresno State fans, farmer state, raising state. Does that bother you, and how badly would you want to sort of shut those people up?
I just want to go play at a high level. Like I said, I want to do everything I can to help put us in a position to win on Saturday, and there's really nothing for us to lose at all. So I'm going to just go play my brand of football, and we're going to go do what we do. And like I said, we're going to go prepare, and we're the underdogs, man. I love the narrative that this team has created, and I've helped create for myself this year, and that's just the underdog mentality. And I think if we just go do our game and play, how we play, dogs might have a chance.
And when you look over at the other sideline and all this talk about Caleb Williams, and obviously he's going to get more attention because of
Which he should. He's a good player.
Right, which
Yeah.
is valid. When you come into this game, is this also sort of a competition in your eyes to say, I'm on a national stage, and like you mentioned, I was too small?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a part of you that says, I'm going to prove to people that I can hang with this guy?
Yeah, I try to not pay attention too much to other people and compare myself to other people. I just really try to focus on what I can do as a quarterback and how I can play, my best version of, Jake Haener football. And I try to not focus on other players, like I said. But, as far as the stage and everything at stake and all that, I live for those moments. Like I said, I prepare for those moments, and, mentally, physically, I think I'm ready for that moment, and I'm just going to do everything I can to, try to help our team be successful.
And lastly, Fresno State wins on Saturday, if what?
We got to control the ball. We got to make smart decisions on offense, and we got to be physical. I think we got to be physical and disciplined, and we can't have a ton of penalties. I think we had too many penalties on Saturday that hurt us at times, and I just think we got to play clean, and we got to play our brand of football, and we got to play physical. I think if you play physical, you always have a chance to win.
Jake, you kind of went to my question, which is the false starts, the delayed games, the offensive mistakes, and kind of shot yourselves in the foot a little bit in the game against Oregon State. How do you kind of clean those things up, knowing that you're going into the biggest stage you guys have gone into this season?
Yeah, I think Oregon State did a good job with some of our stuff, with some of their late subs that were giving us some problems with the clock, with some of the things that we were doing, which didn't give me a ton of time to operate. So I thought they did a good job with their late subs and taking their time to get off the field. But I just think we can be more disciplined, more detailed, and we've addressed it. We've talked about it, and I just think we're going to continue to improve. That's all you can do. You can talk about it, but it's up to us to fix it. And I think guys have taken that to heart, and I think they're going to continue to work on it. We're going to get better in that area.
There was a lot of moments in this game which felt like field goals could be touchdowns. How big is it going into the Coliseum to know that this time touchdowns are going to be necessary to take down the big dog?
Yeah, you got to score touchdowns, and that's whoever you're playing against. Obviously a team like SC, they're going to score and they're going to do their thing on offense, and I think we got to do our thing on offense as well, and that's put the ball in the end zone, and that starts with me, and I've taken total ownership of that, and I think we're going to do some good things this week, and if we can get the ball in the end zone, more often, that'd be awesome.
Jake, what stands out talent-wise or schematically about this USC defense?
There's a lot of moving pieces. They're going to try to confuse me, and they're going to try to do some, things that I haven't seen before as far as front and pressures and, change up the back end picture on me. So I just got to be really detailed with my eyes, disciplined with my approach, and, confident with my process when I'm going through it, at the line of scrimmage.
Two group of 5 teams took down top 10 schools last weekend. Is that anything that's been a discussion within your team?
It was cool to see it, but we haven't really talked about it. We can't focus on other people. We got to focus on what we're doing, and we just got to win games.
Just one question for me, Jake. Kevin praised you for your decision-making, talking about lack of turnovers over the first 2 games. Has there been anything you've done differently over the first 2 games, just taking care of the football and making good decisions?
No, I just think I've made good decisions with the football.
Throwing away the football and you don't see anything out there.
Yeah, I just think that comes with maturity, and I don't have to be a hero on every situation. I can make the smart play, and sometimes that's just throwing the ball in the stands and living to fight another down, and I thought I did a good job of that on Saturday, and not putting the ball in risky situations, to give Oregon State momentum on defense and then moving forward on offense. I just thought, we played consistent, and there was just a few more plays we could have made in order to win the football game.
More questions for Jake?
I'll ask one.
Jordan Mims was doing his thing back there, but what do you think about Malik Sherrod and his play when he got the opportunity?
No, that kid is an aggressive, physical running back, and I think he's going to continue to improve. And he's got a lot of football left. He's a young kid, and I think the older and more mature he gets, the better he's going to be. I think he's got a lot in him. He can catch the ball. He's really shifty, and he's really physical for his size. So Malik's gotten a ton better the last year, and his understanding and recognition of defenses and the offense has improved significantly. So I'm really excited for him. Not what he's going to do this year, but what he's going to continue to do in his career here.